How many of us remember during the year 2000 or around that time? Me, I was a small girl, but at least I heard of those experiences when people would just go to bank and just cover that banks are folded up. People would just be, they say some people are dying and whatever. I think I was still very little, but I think I heard most of those news and they're still there on the net. So one of the reasons why this happened was that those banks do not have a base capital, or they don't have, should I say, an emergency fund, although it's in a different concept, because when it comes to personal individual finance, it can be called emergency fund. But those banks, they did not have a base capital. They don't have anything to fall back on, and that is why CBN now came up with this idea that for you to even have your bank up, you must have, I think, 30 billion or 30 million. Can't remember when I read it, something around that amount. You must have it in central bank. That is your base capital. So whatever happens to your bank, maybe you have some financial problems or whatever, you can always have something to fall back on. So the same applies to you. You need a base capital, but in personal finance we call it emergency fund. You need an emergency fund. And how do you accumulate an emergency fund? One of the ways you do that, number one, you have to track your expenses. At least for a period of 1 to 2 months, you have to track. Even if you are buying matches, you write it down so that you know how much you are spending on the daily basis, weekly basis, and a monthly basis. That way you know that this is the amount that I need to cater for my responsibility to pay my bills for a month. So take, for example, all you spend, foodstuffs, transport fare, and whatever that you spend in a month is around 50,000 naira per month. That 50,000 naira needs to be accumulated for a period of 3 months or 6 months. That is your emergency fund. Put aside somewhere. You have to have this money put aside somewhere, kept there. Just keep it there. That is the emergency fund in case of health issue, disability, loss of job. There's a lot of things that can happen to you. We don't pray that it happens, but life can always happen to us. So have this emergency fund somewhere that you can always fall back to. That is your base capital, and it is really crucial that all women have this put in place somewhere. So start building up for your savings, for your emergency fund. And maybe you only have one source of income or two sources of income, and you are thinking, how will I make up for this emergency fund? Well, like I always say, if you have anything you are not using, you can sell it, or you can always think of ways to earn extra income. I have a lot of videos that tells us about making extra income and how to make extra money, build side hustles, and make money from them. So make your findings, research, make extra income, and have your emergency fund in place.